Namaskar. We are here for a very interactive session. I am Mehak Pandit, Assistant Professor, School of Mass Communication. So, since industries are rapidly changing, so is the academics. The National Education Policy 2020 and other transformations, of course, are changing the academics, for which we have Professor Munish Sabharwal. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you.
So has a vast experience of 25 years into academics. So I think this session is going to be very, very fruitful. So today I would like to discuss you for the main stakeholders, that is the students, from their perspective. For like a student when he opts a program. So I think what kind of parameters does he actually follows while selecting a program for a good outcome?
I think if you want that, if any student wants a good outcome, and what should be the parameters you should choose? I think any student should choose two basic parameters. First is aptitude, that is his knowledge in a particular domain, and second is interest. So a basic formula should be, if you have a high aptitude in a particular domain and you have a high interest, you should definitely go for that program, because you will ultimately be able to get good outcomes. And otherwise, if you have a low aptitude in a particular domain and you have low interest, you should never go for that program, whatever may be the prospects of that program, because you will never be able to attain high outcomes out of it. And the two other scenarios are, either the aptitude is low and your interest is high. You can go for it because your interest is there, and during the duration of the program you may acquire the aptitude. And another scenario is that your aptitude is high but your interest is low. Then if you want to go for that program, then it becomes your challenge and responsibility to develop your interest in that subject. So I think if you follow this broad parameter that I have discussed, you will be able to choose a program where you will be able to get the right outcomes and probably make a career out of it.
All right. So this was something that I asked in the perspective of student who is in 12th and still, trying to finalize the course. So if we talk about students who have, opted for the course, and of course they have started studying. So when we talk about cognitive learning, of course it has different areas of experiential learning. Then there are students who enjoy video lectures. Then there are students who still want, the theoretical conceptual knowledge. And then there are certain students who says, then what is the importance of attendance criteria? Why there exists the attendance criteria? So what's your say on that?
Now I would divide your question into two parts. One is cognitive learning and different types of cognitive learning.
Yeah.
So once you are in a college, in a university, and taking formal education, so you might be good in one form of cognitive learning and you might not be good in another form of cognitive learning, but that's what you are for in a college or a university, to hone and develop your skills in those areas where your ability to learn through a particular medium, whether it is experiential or some other, is weak. You can hone your skills and become better with that. And as far as the idea of not coming to college or not having compulsory attendance is, there are some reasons that attendance should be compulsory, and it is compulsory around the world. I'll give you 4 or 5 reasons. Point number 1 is that go and check the dropout rates of online education to regular education. The dropout rates for online education is around 98%, and for regular education is less than 10%. Another is, what daily coming to a college or a university teaches you is regularity. It teaches you discipline. It gives you the ability to mingle with people from diverse background and from people from diverse strata of the society. And once these people, you learn how to live and gel with all of them. You do projects in teamwork. You participate in extramural activities. So a sum total of all this makes your personality, because when you go into the professional life or the real world, these are the kind of things that you require in the real world. And I don't think anywhere in the real world or professional life you require somebody who is sitting at his home on his couch and doing everything for the world. That could be a one-off scenario in a one-off situation like COVID, but for life to run on a day-on-day basis, you need discipline, you need regularity, you need interaction with people, and always whenever you interact with people, they will be from different strata of the society, they will be from different and diverse backgrounds, nationalities. So that is something that regularity to an institution of high stature and repute teaches you. So I think doing away with attendance might not be the right way going forward.
Okay. Yeah, I do accept that. Of course, pandemic has made students, of course, lethargic. They feel like, academics can also happen and nothing can replace being a teacher. I also accept that nothing can replace classroom teaching for sure. Since the academic has changed, we have talked about, how a student must opt course, of course, the cognitive learning, of course, everything has changed. So what, according to you, I would say, because you have such enriched experience, what, according to you, are the transformations that are required in a student? Of course, in general, what kind of changes does a student needs to have in themselves? And of course, when it comes to calculating or measuring the outcome of a particular course, then what kind of changes are required when we talk about student?
I think first thing is that some transformation is required as far as our assessment system is concerned. We need to have testing methods for formative testing methods which should be of higher order. We should not necessarily focus on the ability of a student to remember, the ability of the student to just wrote whatever he has learned, and whatever he has understood he is write down on a pen and paper. No, we need to think of higher order, like critical thinking skills which are ability to create, ability to assess, analyze. These kinds of problem statements we have to give them, and the test should be formulated in such a manner that they only test these higher order skills of the students. Another would be, I think every assessment methodology should at least have a 360-degree kind of an assessment where a student should be assessed by the institution, the student must be assessed by the peers, other students of the class, and the student must be assessed by himself. And the fourth is, even the parents of the students must assess their ward, saying that has he reached where they wanted him to reach, the reason why they sent him to a particular institution to study. So this would give a 360-degree analysis of the student. And one more methodology that I came across in the last year was that there are some artificial intelligence based softwares available which on a daily basis, based upon the student's area and domain, give him a small test or a small questionnaire on his mobile, because everybody is using a handheld device these days, and you keep replying, and that question will be from diverse courses, and then at any point in time the software gives you a SWOT analysis that what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, and the student can just focus on his weaknesses so that he brings all his weaknesses to the strengths quadrant, and even he can set a goal for himself that during the course of 1 year I want to reach here, and the SWOT will keep telling him where is he weak in not reaching his goal, and he can keep learning and keep making the dots on the weakness side to the strength side, and ultimately it will help him reach his goal. So what I am talking about being a technologist is a lot of technology intervention can be brought, and all the assessments that we are doing for every student, like the internal assessments, like the midterm exams or CAT exams, all these continuous assessments, so to say, can be done in an online mode. Can be done through the software, which is highly secure, and there is encrypted, and there is no scope for any kind of cheating. We can use softwares, because the advantages of such softwares is that as soon as the exam is over, the result is out.
Right.
So if we broadly take into account all these parameters, they can, you know, grossly affect the outcome.
Yeah, the program outcome, the course outcome, internal, and that is what is very important for a student to understand. Since I'm taking you through all the queries that a student has in his or her mind, so one of the very common query that student usually ask is because since it's a national education policy and we do offer the minor and the major course. Let us assume that a student is taking law as a major subject, right? And we tell him to consider minor subject as an agriculture. So what is the relevance of this integration of major and minor for you to answer for a student?
I think there's a lot of relevance, because you could see, are the in the legal domain, are there not cases related to agriculture? Are there not problems related to agriculture? Do we not face land reform problems? Do we not face farmers face cases where the insurance for the crop has been done and the crop gets destroyed and they need, and then the legal team comes in? So in case, and we have lawyers who only deal with divorce cases, we have lawyers who only deal with insurance cases, we have lawyers who may only deal with criminal cases and cyber law cases. Why not lawyers who only deal with agriculture lawsuits? So if there is a lawyer who wants to deal only in agricultural lawsuits, or for that case media lawsuits, so he can go for a minor in agriculture, because if he has a core basic understanding of agriculture, it will help him finally understand the client's problems. And once he understands the problem, he can defend his case more clearly in the court of law.
Absolutely, absolutely. Very amazing. So we have helped the students to identify the course. We have helped them to understand what kind of changes do they require as a student, and of course the basic problems related to national education policy. Another very important question that student usually has is in mind when he just passes 12th is how to select a college and university. So what do you think, as per your all of the knowledge that you have, what are the important parameters that a student must follow while finalizing the college or university he wishes to of course pursue his dreams?
I think there are a lot of factors, I would say. As a start, he could look at what is the national ranking of the college or the global ranking of the college. What is the accreditation of the college? There are NAC accreditations, there are NBA accreditations, there are other accreditations. So whether the college is accredited or not, then he can ask for what is the location where the college or the university is situated. Is he comfortable with the geographical location of the college? Then I think if he has selected 4, 5, 8 universities or colleges, he can pay a visit, look at the infrastructure of the college. Then probably comes the most important part, what is the reputation of the college in terms of the particular program that he is choosing. What is the standard of the faculty of that program? And apart from the faculty, then what is the placement record of the program? And also must look at the extramural activities that because holistic development cannot happen just with academics. It has to involve a lot of extracurricular, co-curricular. So if there is placement, if there is there is support for research, there is good faculty, there is decent infrastructure, the location is good, the rankings are there, the ratings are there, the accreditation is there, probably you should go ahead.
All right. So since you are the Dean of, Department of Computer Science, School of Computer Science in Golconda University, I will directly take you to your department and we'll discuss that what according to you are the new trends when it comes to computer science, like artificial intelligence and all of those things. We want to know about those new trends.
The newer trends are, in the days when I did my graduation, there was only BTech Computer Science. Now we have a lot of offshoots of computer science, so to say, like computer science in artificial intelligence, computer science in artificial intelligence and machine learning, computer science in BTech in data science, data analytics we have. Then we have now some unique areas are coming up like BTech in drone technology. Then an area which fetches the highest placements in the industry, is highly in demand, is BTech in full stack development. And also one more area which recently I have seen coming up in the few universities in the country, it is BTech in robotics and cyber physical systems. And of course BTech in cloud computing, blockchain. So these are the areas, and it depends upon the student's interest, his choice. And sometimes, you know, the students come to me that I don't know which specialization to take, but I want to take a specialization. So the best case scenario I give him, you don't take any specialization, just study for an year, because the first year is common. And you will, in 1 year of computer science, you may read a lot of computer science, you will find your interest and inclination, and if your interest is high, you choose that area, will give you the ability.
Right, very nice. Of course, I think you are a very, very right person for whom I wish to ask this particular question. Of course, there are a lot of enthusiasts who are into computer science, and they are here because, of course, the dean of the School of Computer Science is with us. I would like to know from you that if you, let's assume you're a computer scientist, when it's about higher education or research, everything, there is integration happening everywhere. So what, according to you, which area, which domain that as particularly wish to collaborate with when it comes to higher education or research as a computer scientist?
As a computer scientist, you know, computer has virtually ventured and entered into every domain of life. You know, I was talking to my son a few days back, and he was preparing for some document, and he said, you know, I told my teacher, and he was right, that earlier we used to go to a restaurant to have food. Now we are ordering on Zomato. Computer science has come in. Earlier we were calling up somebody that you bring your cab. Now there is Ola and Uber. Earlier we were going to the bank to deposit money, or to take money, or to transfer money. Now we have QR codes, Pay Bharat, Google Pay, ATMs. So it means every domain. Earlier we were going to malls to shopping. Now Amazon has come in. So it means that computer science is into every domain. But as a personal preference, what I see in the next 10 years or so, I see a lot of computer science being used in medical technology for identification of diseases, and also a lot of computer science being used in biotechnology and bioinformatics to develop a lot of newer medicines through genome sequencing. These are the two areas I think you'd see a lot of computer science happening, and probably some computer science may see drones being used to deliver for delivery. And another last area where I think computer science the pace may be slow but would creep in is robotics. Lot of robotics, we may see the use of huge number of robotics in industrial technology. And recently I was reading somewhere that if you order some coffee or your boarding pass checking at Singapore airports, humans are not doing it now. Robots have come in. So this kind of application of robotics may just happen. So probably this is what is going to happen in the next decade.
All right. So a lot of interesting thing, of course, is happening, and we, come across a lot of news that happens in Japan or Korea. So talking about, developing this particular ecosystem, specifically, of course, because we are sitting in Galgotia University and you are the dean. So I would like to know your take on developing this, research ecosystem at a university, but at the international level. So what is your take on that?
I think the entire research ecosystem can be developed if, I think, more than the ecosystem comes later. What comes first is the culture. You need to develop the culture of research. And I think the culture is like you need to have research groups in every school department, and every faculty and student needs to be member of the research group. Every research group should have a research forum. People should discuss about a particular topic and express their views, help others. Then every school should organize conferences, development programs, workshops on research, IPR, technology transfer. Then how if they have an IPR, how to make that IPR commercial. So and once we have this kind of an ecosystem, then this is an ecosystem that is that involves all the stakeholders. And then we can have a specific research ecosystem allied to this system, where you could have, rather than having professors, you could have a research professors whose job would only be to do research and probably teach some courses for research methodology or IPR, and they will only do research, and they will only involve with your research scholars and your master's scholars, and then apply for extramural funding from government agencies, and these professors would form a board who would evaluate your seed fund projects, because every seed fund project, if it is properly evaluated, can result into a project that actually gives you extramural funding from government agencies. So if you have this kind of an ecosystem, you can propel your research to leaps and bounds.
All right, that's very amazing, and I wish that we actually work on the phase. Of course, we are working, and we'll work together. So that was a really, really interactive session. Thank you so much, sir, and thank you everyone who is watching us. This is Mehak, and we are signing off.